Now, he's a bit slow in reacting there. He needs to very quickly get back there and get goal side.
He's wrong side, isn't he?
He's just the wrong side.
Do you think he's just thinking he can pass him on to Mustafi, who's not marking anyone?
May well be the case, Owen, that he looks up and thinks there's plenty of red shirts there. I've got no need to panic. Hector Bellerin here. Hector Bellerin, be brave. Block the ball. Do everything you can to smother the ball. I don't know whether defenders now are so petrified of a hand making contact with the ball and conceding a penalty. But he actually turns to the side and almost allows that ball, I think, to come in on the far too easily.
I think this angle is more damning,
the
really,
angle.
isn't it?
It is, yeah. And the one thing you would say is, OK, it's Eden Hazard, and there's a bit of respect there. But I think if you stop it there, and he's just got to get out to it.
Yeah, what you don't see from that other angle is the actual gap between him and the ball.
And the point is, from this point on, he doesn't do anything. He just waits for him.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to earn that. In those last 10 minutes, people don't understand how difficult it can be sometimes when you're hanging on. You're away from home. You are a new team, effectively, with a new coach. You've got to do more. Bellerin's got to do more there. Everybody has got to bring a little bit more to the party. But ultimately, the manager is the one that's got to make the necessary changes. Sometimes he's the one that stimulates it by saying, you're out and you're in. And if you don't do it, I'll leave you out and someone else will... You know, you've got to stimulate the desire within the team to not go under and not get beat. And at the moment, they don't do that.
There's no doubt Chelsea were more clinical with the opportunities that came their way. 8 minutes in, Pedro got them up and running. Defensively, did Arsenal have to be so high?
Well, I don't think so. If we actually look at this as a still here, you can see the Arsenal defenders in a line. They look very, very comfortable there. As this play develops, Owen, Monreal makes a decision. He's the one in control of that Arsenal back line in this move. With the ball over this side of the field, he can see everything in front of him. He makes a decision to hold the line.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like... I think it's an easy way out.
I don't even like Bellerin going in there. I mean, Bellerin goes in too far, doesn't he? Which leaves the space for Alonso. Mkhitaryan doesn't track back, but you're right, because Monreal tries to step up and do that offside.
So here, we look from this angle again. Sorry, not this angle. Let this one go. Great play from Alonso. Perfect weighted ball. This is the angle where you're saying here, Owen, that the ball is actually back with the goalkeeper. It comes up to Morata. He bumps it back. It goes a long way back. So there's a long time for Arsenal to recover, to communicate. And I think get themselves absolutely sorted out. So you're saying here, Bellerin here...
Well, they've got a back four in, haven't they? So
they have.
The 4v3, plus they've got a midfield protection as well. So they're actually, you'd say in that situation, they're fine.
They're in a good position there. They're in decent shape.
If you just run it on a tiny bit... Watch, I understand what Bellerin's doing. Willian takes a touch inside and he thinks, I'm going to stay with him. You've got to pass him on there.
Yeah.
You've got to pass him on.
Bellerin needs to recover his position.
Just stay there. Let him go there. Nothing's going to happen.
No.
And once he goes inside, look at the space. And again, credit Alonso. He's got that awareness. He sees the space. Yeah. Mkhitaryan doesn't react. As you said, Monreal tries to play offside, but then it's almost the second phase, isn't it?
It is.
He becomes, he's not offside anymore. And the goal looks ridiculous because it's a simple tap-in. But defensively, you're right, Manish, Arsenal were too high, and there was space in beyond for Chelsea right at the start.
But that is the stuff that you work on the training ground on. Yeah. Bellerin's got to know when to let Willian go back in there and just hold his position.
Got to pass him on to Guendouzi or something, doesn't he?
Yeah. He knows Mkhitaryan's not a good tracker of runners. Knows he doesn't want to run back. Don't make him do it.
So he's exploited a teammate essentially there, hasn't he?
Yes.
For Chelsea's second goal, I mean, this would be a welcome sight for Alvaro Morata and his manager. His first goal of the season. In fact, it's only his second goal since April the 1st, but he took it well in the end.
Well, we know this partnership, Azpilicueta into Morata, and he loves to run that channel. That's where he's at his best, when he doesn't really have to overthink it. But again, Andy, you know, Andy spoke about that high line. Look how high that line is.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, really. And Morata, the only thing he wants is that ball over the top.
Yeah.
And Azpilicueta, that we saw last season, the start of last season, he played some terrific passes for Morata, and that's a dream. And once he gets into a 1v1 with Mustafi, he's got to tackle him there, outside the box, make it easier on him. Once he gets into the box, can't give away a foul, he's too far away from him. Poor from Mustafi, not great from Cech. And Arsenal at that point, 2-0 down, they look like they were done and dusted.
If you're gonna defend like that with a high line, you know, if Unai Emery has gone in there saying, we're going to press, I want my defenders to squeeze, to force those guys in front of them, in and around the opposition, then you do that knowing it, and you should have the comfort in your mind as a midfield player, as a forward, when you're closing down, that my defenders are tight to people. They're with people. They're sensing a bit of danger, so they've got a couple of yards head start.
Always got a sweeper keeper maybe off his line.
Exactly, or anything like that. But it's so poor, it's so basic, it's ridiculous. And you know, you can be working away, chasing around as a midfield player, you turn around, one pass, 50 yards, goal. And
that's when players start looking at each other thinking,
how are they getting in?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
We were watching that, and I'm sure millions around the world are watching that, where they're going, how did they get in there so easy? It's just a hopeful ball over the top. That's because you got people there not switched on. Not switched on. Just getting themselves into a position, but not really concentrating.